Fishing is fun, but hooking is the only way. We're gonna show you how to catch some fish today.
I've been getting a lot of comments on how I set up my swim baits for stripers, so I'm going to show you exactly how, because if it's not done properly, you won't catch very many. They could be on a feeding frenzy where they're biting anything that hits the water, then yes, you could have it crooked and it will work. But I've proved it many times that when the bite is tough, if it's not on properly, you won't get bit. So I'm going to show you how to set up your I call them fish traps, but they don't make them no more, but they're actually a 5-inch swim bait. So some of the things you're gonna need is just some super glue. Putting your hooks in any kind of plastic bait, it needs to be straight. It's like from night and day from catching fish or not catching. So doing this fish trap or 5-inch swim bait, you can catch stripers, bass, halibut, you can catch hooray, anything that feeds on minnows or threadfin, shad, or anchovies or anything. Well, this bait will actually catch you a lot of fish. So I'm going to show you how to put this thing on the correct way. Okay, when you put these on, the correct way is, see how this is tapered? That's the bottom, the flat side is the top. You see that little perforated line there? That's my guide point. Here's a jig head. You can use anywhere from 3/8 ounce to like 1 ounce, depends on the current. And basically what I do is I'm going to put this dead center in the middle. And what you do is when you push that hook in, you do not want to stop. In other words, I'm not going to push the hook in like here, stop, and then try to make some adjustments. You got to do it one time. And you want to go straight. So I'm going to use this line here as a guide. I set this in the center right here. And my target is you go like this and where that hook bends, so I'm going to come out probably about maybe 3/4 of an inch. So I put it in one time. Now I push hard and then pop up right on the line. That gets me straight. When you do it in one motion, it will be straight. Because if you stop, you're changing direction. So if you do it in one motion, it's going to go straight, guaranteed. I've messed up a lot of baits in my time. So do it in one motion. So you got to know where you're poking in. You know where it has to know where it's coming out before you do it. And then just do it in one motion and it'll be straight. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this super glue and I'm going to put just a dab on each side like this. And then what you do is you hold this straight. You got to make sure you're straight and then push it in hard and fast. And then center it like that. And there, see this line? Straight with the head. So that bait right there is perfectly straight. So one of the other things about striper fishing is I learned you could take any kind of white or pearlescent swim bait and dye the tail chartreuse and you'll have a lot better results. So this is one that I dyed so you could tell that it's a bright chartreuse. And when you're dyeing plastics, anything that's translucent, the dye will absorb it. So if you took a black one and dyed it chartreuse, it wouldn't glow like that. So you want to use your more translucent colors or your whites or your pearls, and that green will come out bright like that. So if the plastic and the hook is not lined up properly, it'll put a bend in the plastic, so when the bait is trying to kick and swim, it goes crooked or it tilts over and it will not work. It will work when the fish are biting like crazy, but when it's tough, it will not work. So make sure you get it on straight. So now we got some new plastics that are coming on the market. There's a company called Z-Man and they make these baits. They make from crawdads and worms to all kinds of baits, but see, you can't break it. It's stretch. So I learned by fooling around with these because they're very hard to get the hook in straight. So basically what I'm doing is I just stretch it out, and I think what it does is it relaxes the plastic, and then I let it down, and then I go and do the way I install. One thing about these Z-Man, these stretchy baits, is they use a certain kind of chemical in these, and if you put it with any kind of other plastics, they'll dissolve. And I've even had these things dissolve my tackle boxes, so you gotta be real careful with them. So I usually just leave them in the packages. So here I'm gonna show you how to put the hook in this thing. So basically what I'm doing is I'm gonna relax the plastic, so I just stretch it. You can't break it. So see, I'm pulling it, and then that relaxes it. So then after that, I'm gonna take my jig head, hold it upright, and the same thing. So I'm gonna measure here, so that hook's gonna come out right by that fin right there. Go right in the center, and then one push, and then out. And then like that, take my glue, put a couple dabs like that. And these are really, you got to really push these on really hard, like you're going over the top of the head. And voila, see, perfectly straight, the line to the eye. So here now we have two baits that I've showed you. And this is the stretchy one, and this is the regular swim bait. They're both on straight, and they're both good to go catch some fish.
Fishing is fun, but hooking is the only way. We're gonna show you how to catch some fish today.